I'm camped up deep within a river valley of one of the most beautiful, but also one of the most treacherous places I've ever had to hike through. Day one had me hiking through kilometres of gorges, waterfalls, thick scrub and button grass plains. Bars of prison! It was all in an attempt to find the next big gold deposit in an area that the old-timers searched for gold over 180 years ago. The exciting idea for me is that the old-timers never had the advantage of a mask and snorkel. On day one, I began to secure nice pieces of gold, but with the brutal time spent reaching the area, night fell and I had to retire back to base camp. It's day two now, and I'm about to begin the search again along this beautiful river to see if I can unlock some more of nature's treasure. Bit of porridge. Always put one of these little fruit cups in. Helps the porridge cool down and just makes it delicious. Look at that. Breakfast of champions. Hopefully it helps me get some gold today. Sure, if I've got enough thread for it, I'll try and sew up this wetsuit. £50 braid, fishing braid. That's what I use to sew up the weddy, and usually I'll put a bit of Sikaflex or shoe glue over the joins. We don't have that luxury out here with the time we got. I got up a bit earlier so I could get this done. We don't cut into any time on the river. Okay, that's it. It was tore two different directions down through here and that way. So it's a bit of a tricky one, but it's absolutely not pretty, but it'll do the trick. Freezing cold to put on for the first 2 seconds, but then you instantly just feel your body heat radiate back off it and it's warm. Suit is on, and this day is about to begin. Painful part over. Alright, I think I've got everything. Start this awesome new day. So I'm just going to skip down to where I finished off last night, which was only probably 500 metres, and then we'll start testing until we hit something. So I did 4Ks yesterday, which is pretty good going considering there were so many trees down across the river. It made it really slow, but I only really tested the spots that I thought looked good. This is where that nice little teardrop piece come from last night. There's another 3.5 Ks of river that I want to test out, and I'm sure hoping that there'll be a solid deposit in here somewhere. Otherwise we might be struggling to get a great deal. Well, this uninviting deep water is where I finished off last night, so I'm going to start here. I just noticed a bit of a ridge running out across the river there, and looks like there might be some crevices back in under there. I started out in relatively shallow water and found a small ledge I thought might have something trapped behind it, but the bedrock beneath was much too smooth. I began to find unbelievable formations in the bedrock where the white quartz stringers had been twisted into waves through the host rock. I've seen a lot of this sort of geology before, but nothing quite like these ones. This section here looked really good. Crunchy looking pockets for the gold to trap. Continued to keep testing and testing this bedrock, working my way now along the crevices and pockets running parallel with the river's flow. Generally, in all of these types of traps, I would start to find gold. Nothing. Disappointing.
These are some of the best crevices I've seen on the trip, and just nothing in it, which is crazy because I got that nice little teardrop shaped piece only 300 or 400 meters upstream. Perhaps I'm on the wrong side of the river, I don't know, but I'll keep testing this spot just for a little bit longer because it's got good ground.
Bedrock was even better on the other side of the river. There were perfect little tight packed crevices, heaps of ground to work, and potential for gold to be trapped. I broke away a section of the host rock, and the material underneath usually shows a flake or two, but unfortunately this time, once again, I came up with nothing. Awesome tight packed crevices, but no gold anywhere.
So just tried the other side, and yeah, nothing. This spot here was so surprising. They're like the best ground I've seen on the trip. Really good workable ground and nothing in it, and yet there's gold just upstream. For those that say that gold travels long distances, I'm sure it can in some instances, but I'm a strong believer that big gold doesn't travel far at all. Only those very fine flakes that get pushed a long way. The geology's here. Look at that. Full of sulfides. What an awesome spot. Feeling remote now.
It's a long way out. Wow. Oh my gosh. I came to this corner on the river and it absolutely just blew my mind with its beauty. It's very hard to capture on camera something like this in the moment. I could feel a huge sense of just an untouched beauty and an area that may not have been visited by anyone in over 100 years. I continued to work not far downstream, and sure enough, a few small flakes began to show up again. I was struggling to snuff up this piece with the flow of the water. Try and work out how far I've come. Just a few flakes here and there, but nothing substantial yet. So I'm really hoping that there's something that shows up, because this has been mammoth. And I'm getting a bit disheartened, but I'm gonna have something to eat and rejuvenate. It's time to unlock the power of the cocoa. Kind of like when Eric eats a banana type thing.
When Eric eats a banana, Eric is Banana Man. Ever alert for the call to action.
It's funny, you know, like trips like this make you feel like you can't find gold, or it's just not going to show up. You forget what the good times felt like. Start doubting your capabilities. Ready to rumble. Wow, look at the gateway to this creek. Let's hope this one's flushed some gold into the river. Oh. Wow. That was just insanely beautiful. Talk about a fantasy world. It's just can't describe it. Way, way out there today. Now, I'm not sure if it was the cocoa, but things began to change for me.
That's a nice piece. Whew, finally.
Or maybe it was that beautiful little creek flushing in new gold. There was still some work to do. In unlocking the tight packed gravels and working against the flow of the river created some challenges.
Nice little poker. Oh, finally, there might be a bit of gold here.
This deep void penetrating the bedrock was full of clay and ancient sediment that had no doubt been capturing the gold for thousands of years. Every time I ran the crevicing hook through deeper and deeper, chunky pieces of gold would scrape out onto the bedrock behind.
This bit's a bit thicker. I ripped it out of a deep pocket in the clay.
were good amounts of it, and it was a good size, and I'd finally landed myself on what seemed to be a good deposit. It's not that this was record-breaking ground for me, but after 2 very grueling days, and after so much effort to get here, I'd finally found what I was looking for. The crevice had run out, but there was a good drop-off point with decomposed bedrock sitting beneath. Once the overburden was removed, the gold continued.
Yeah, the boomerang, it looked massive at first. Geez, it excited me. Probably a gram, maybe a little more. Woo.
Usually when I find good pieces, there's a good chance that there'll be more in the same location.
It's just a pocket of pickers all clustered in together down in there. My goodness, it's just little pickers all clustered together in this one crack. All the hard work getting here. Oh, yesterday was so painful. I was wanting to go home,
today. Look at us. This crack runs for a fair bit longer too, so it could be a fair bit more.
There were good amounts of gold to be found, but once again, the clock was against me. I worked my way forward up to the edge of a waterfall. Its rumbling sound somehow in my mind created an urgency and reminded me I needed to work fast but efficiently before having to leave. My time here was coming to an end. Night would fall and I would still need to make that journey back to camp before dark. But it was too hard. I was still finding good pieces. How could I leave just now?
Righto, so a good run there finally after a couple of days hard slog. It's just a shame that I had to get onto it right near the end of the trip and with very limited time. I've got about 3 k's to get back out of here, so I've got to get back to camp before it gets dark. I don't want to be in a place like this when it's dark. I've still got an overwhelming mission just to get back to camp. This gold's the hardest to get to, I tell you. Massive day today. Grab some of my dinner out. Today and yesterday. Yesterday just drove me crazy. Everything was against me, it felt like. So yeah, good to get some results today. Yeah, that's a good stack of gold. That has made the trip Worth all that effort. So in the morning, somehow I got to exit up that hill. I'm hoping that it's not too steep. Looks like on the map it's a pretty good grade, but I'm gonna shortcut straight up through there and back to the car rather than doing the 4Ks back where I dropped in. There's no way I want to go through all those log jams and trees that were down through the creek up there. The worst part about getting up is putting these wet socks and shoes on. Here we go. I think I'd be used to it, wouldn't you? Would have helped if I wrung them out last night. I'll start off a bit cold in this t-shirt, but I just know once I'm on the hill the puffer jacket's gonna cook me. Question is, what do we got here? Very steep just here. I'll try and find an entrance somewhere.
The first part of my journey out would be the steepest, and using the small trees to pull myself up the hill was a must.
Managed to get out of the steep bit, wasn't too far.
Things then turned ugly for me.
Doesn't get much worse than this.
The underlying scrub was thick barra, which is a cobweb-like vegetation that grows thick like vines. It was less than a crawling pace, and every 100 metres felt like kilometres.
Take my breath. Too hectic for this early in the morning.
And it got even thicker, but it was just the last section. I knew that I wasn't far from the button grass plains above.
I could see some hope just through there a bit. Yes!
I'd finally broken free of the wiry strains of the Barra. It was a cool breeze on the face, sunshine and welcome views of the surrounding hills as I made my final climb back to the vehicle. Okay, back home in one piece. So for the exciting news, my eldest boy William has just released his first YouTube video and started up his own channel. He's a mad fisherman, almost as passionate as what I am about the gold, and he's just gone out and filmed his own adventure, which I'm super proud to share with you guys. He's done an awesome job, and Will's a good kid. I'm real proud of him for enjoying the outdoors when a lot of kids these days are, you know, stuck on their phones and on screens. So yeah, love it if you guys could yeah, show him some love, jump on over to his channel and see what you reckon of his first video. I'll leave a link in this video description so you can jump on over and check that out. Okay, so it's the end of the month of April. I'm giving away these two really nice little nuggets, the two largest from this trip. And so our number one winner is Secret Creek Prospecting. Congratulations, mate. And our second winner is Brendan Baker. So congratulations to you two. Also for this month, I'm giving away 3 hoodies. And the 3 winners for this month are Matt Trump, Philip Spicer and Stuart Bade. So a big congrats to you guys, and thanks to all my Patreon members for the ongoing support. And the final thing I want to do is have a look at the gold from this trip. Now I know that this isn't record breaking amounts of gold for me, but keep in mind that it was a couple of hours on the last day that I was on camp, so it's pretty exciting that I have somewhere that should potentially give up some pretty good gold when I go back in. I think I'm just going to have to find a bit of an easier way in because it was a pretty brutal mission. But yeah, very excited to get back out there again and see how we go there. Really nice character looking bits, some of them very similar in shape. You can see that teardrop shaped one that I found on the first day, even a second one that's almost a teardrop shape as well. One of the larger pieces coming in at 0.82, the teardrop shaped piece at 0.61, 0.56, 46, 0.20, 0.24, 37, another 0.4, and the final piece at just over 1 gram. And for the grand finale, we have 11.83 grams of gold. Thanks everyone for joining in to this point. I hope you've enjoyed today's adventure, and until the next one, happy hunting, and we'll see you all then.